Who wants to be a millionaire? An Austin software consultant says he does. Jay Rosenberg will be here next to preview his appearance on today's Millionaire. All right, 5:53 is our time. And if you love the show Millionaire, you're not going to want to miss today's episode because an Austin software consultant will be in the hot seat across from host Meredith Vieira. And joining us now is Jay Rosenberg. First of all, congratulations for making it to the TV version there.
Yes, thank you very much.
And you were showing me a picture, and there's 10 faces on this thing here. You have 10 children, and you still found time to be on the game show. How'd you do that?
Oh, well, it's a challenge. It's not always easy, and actually the credit goes to my wife, because while I was there auditioning for the show, my wife was the one who was actually holding down the fort.
Yeah. So tell us what that experience was like being on Millionaire.
Oh, it was just the best. It was just a lot of fun. The people on the show couldn't be nicer, and Meredith was just terrific. It was just always been a lifelong dream to be on a game show, and it was great to have that opportunity. Yeah, and
we were talking a little bit earlier, you were telling me you're sworn to secrecy on the exact outcome. But one thing I was reading is that they've made a number of changes for the new season.
Yes, they have.
And how did that work out for you? Because I was noticing, for instance, on the easier questions, you have less time to answer.
Right, they added a clock.
Yeah.
The clock progressively gets a little longer. On the easier questions, you only have 15 seconds and then 30 seconds. Since the changes were brand new, and I was one of the first few people to actually play the game with the new changes, it was exciting and challenging because a lot of the advice I had heard and thought about before was, oh, there's no clock, you can take your time, make sure Meredith says final answer, don't answer too soon, and now all of a sudden there's this 15-second clock that's counting down against you, and you have to rethink everything. But it was exciting.
Yeah, they were trying to pick up the pace of the program because some people would just kind of get stuck on the easy ones, and you would find them there pausing to reflect on who was the first president of the United States.
Right.
And you're there, come on, let's get moving here.
Exactly. And it's that type of thing when you're at home, it's easy and you're yelling at the contestants, and I'm sure there'll be lots of people yelling at me today.
Yeah, something else that they added here was that they now have an expert that you can call on the show.
Yeah, that's right. So they added a new lifeline. There used to be a lifeline called Switch the Question when you got to a certain level, and now it's Ask the Expert, and they have various different types of experts. I believe the first week was Bill Nye, the science guy, and then they have former Millionaire winners and a variety of different types of experts. You don't quite know who you're going to have until you're there, and it's just another way to get help.
And also, I was noticing here something, they replaced the 50-50 lifeline with something called Double Dip.
That's
you can take two guesses?
Yes, you can take two guesses. The 50-50 would randomly take away two of the wrong choices. Now, it's instead of that, you get to pick two choices. But the interesting thing about it is once you commit to doing it, you're committed. You can't then say after your second guess, oh, I don't want to do it, and I want to,
take the money.
Take the money. Once you do it, let's say you're at 16,000 and you decide to do double dip and you miss both, you're going to drop all the way down to 1,000. So it's a little more challenging than the 50-50.
All right. Well, we look forward to seeing you today on Millionaire. And again, you can watch Jay today and tomorrow. Yes, he made it to tomorrow on CBS 42 at noon. So be tuned for that. All right. A quick look at our weather. What would you do for $1 million? We'll introduce you to one Austin man who is playing to win during today's Millionaire.com. Well, if you love the show Millionaire, you're not going to want to miss today's episode because an Austin software consultant is going to be on the hot seat. And Jay Rosenberg is with us. First of all, congratulations for being on the program.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
And I was trying to get out of him, did he win? Did he win? And you've been sworn to secrecy.
That's absolutely correct. So the mantra is tune in, find out.
Tune in and find out. That's very, very good. But I've been just looking at you, and he seems to be in really good spirits. So I'm thinking maybe he made some money out of this here. But tell us how many times you had to audition to get on the show.
Well, I happened to be up in New York State area this spring for personal reasons, and just out of curiosity, I went to their website. They said auditionings are now open. I sent them a little email. They contacted me a few days later. I was there, took the test. After taking the test, they did an interview for everybody who passed the test, and then they did a video interview of me, and 3 weeks later, I got a little postcard saying I was in the contestant pool. And I go, wow, I got my swimming trunks out and waited. And then beginning of July, I get another phone call saying, would you mind coming up to New York and filming an episode? I said, I'm there.
Did they pay your way to New York?
No. That I do on my own dime, and hopefully, if luck's with me, then maybe at least I'll get compensated for that.
Okay. Did you have your own cheering section with you there?
Oh, I sure did. In fact, I brought up my wife, and my 2 youngest of my 10 children were there.
10?
And had a whole slew of people. I'm originally from New York State, grew up in there. And had about a dozen people in the audience rooting me on, which was really nice. Yeah,
and we were talking earlier, there have been a number of changes to the show for the new season.
That's right. Yeah, they have a clock, which now means that you don't have all the time in the world to answer every question. And on the sort of easier, lower value questions, you'll have only 15 seconds to give an answer. They've also changed the lifelines a little bit. They dropped the 50-50 and they dropped the switch the question. They've added in a Ask the Expert, which lets you go to get some advice from somebody who hopefully is an expert. And they also gave you something called a double dip. And the double dip is sort of a little bit risky because it's the only lifeline. Once you choose, there's no backing out.
All right. Well, we look forward to seeing you today and tomorrow on Millionaire, and we'll find out, I guess, tomorrow. He's not telling us. We'll find out tomorrow if he wins the big money. Millionaire airs at noon here on CBS 42.